Yo, what's up YouTube, it's Sully and today I'm going to be updating the high round strategy guide on the map Terminus. So to get straight into it, this is the loadout I'd recommend that you use. I'd recommend using the GS45 pistols with these attachments right here. Along with that, I'd recommend starting off with Frenzy Guard. This is going to be useful for the early round strategy, but afterwards I'd recommend switching to Aethys Route, which is going to be more useful for the high round strategies. There are going to be a couple necessary augments, the first of which is going to be Hardened Plates and Juggernog. This is just going to help you survive throughout the game. The next one is going to be Part and Gift, which is going to be especially useful during the salvage gaining strategy. And all three other minor augments are going to have the uses, and I'm going to explain that a little bit further in the video. But if you can only equip one, I'd recommend equipping Picky Eater. The next one is Deadhead on Deadshot Daiquiri. This is another one that's going to be useful for the salvage gaining strategy. Then after that, on Frenzy Guard, I recommend Frenzied Fire and Extension. This is going to really maximise the amount of kills you can get in the early rounds. Then for later rounds, I'd recommend Extension on Aethys Route. This is going to be really useful for the RCXD strategy. The weapons that you're going to want for this strategy are going to be the Wonder Weapon and the Patter Punch GS45 pistols. If you want to save yourself 9,000 salvage, you can just buy the pistols off the wall when they turn legendary. If you are doing this, I'd recommend using lower rarity pistols up until then. Make sure to craft a Casimir grenade to take advantage of the Picky Eater augment on Vulture Aid, or if you're lucky enough, you might just get a free one earlier in your game. Now, I know one person's going to leave a comment asking how to get Vulture Aid on this map, so for that one guy, you got to get it from the Wonder Fizz machine on the shipwreck, and the Wonder Fizz spawns in round 25. So moving on to the early round strategy, this is going to take place inside the Wonder Weapon room, and although the save and quit spawn manipulation trick has been patched, this is still going to be the fastest way to go about the rounds. Now, as you see in here, all I'm pretty much doing is just spamming the pistols. Whenever you get weak, I'd recommend popping Frenzy Guard. This is pretty much going to make you invincible as long as you're killing the zombies fast enough, and with Mustang and Sally, you're definitely going to be doing that. Now, you're not always going to have a Frenzy Guard available to use every single round, so what I recommend doing is, especially in the mid 30s to early 40s, is use Frenzy Guard one round and then use a Casimir grenade on the next round. You should be able to do this because of the Picky Eater augment on Vulture Aid, making it so that the zombies drop a lot more Casimir grenades. So as you just seen there, round 37 I use Frenzy Guard, round 38 I'm going to use a Casimir grenade, which is also going to help me take out this amalgam, which is nice. And then on round 39 I should be able to use a Frenzy Guard again and just repeat this process. It may also be worth mentioning to always keep a kill streak on your body at all times, just in case you ever get in a bad situation. You can call the kill streak in to save your life. And then one more thing, I'd recommend always buying ammo for your pistols at the end of the round. The closest ammo crate is inside the Juggernog room, and points are never going to be an issue throughout this strategy, so even if you're at half ammo, it's still worth buying ammo. So now I'm going to be covering the salvage gaining strategy, which is going to take place inside the Wonder Weapon room but behind this door. So earlier on in the video I mentioned that the other minor augments on Vulture Aid are going to have some uses, and this is where they come into play. If you run Condor's Reach, this is going to make the strategy safer because you can pick up armor plates from further away. And if you run carry-on luggage, this is going to make it a lot more efficient because you're getting more salvage. So I'd recommend saving and quitting your game when you want to do this strategy and then switch to one of these augments. So for this strategy, pretty much all you're doing is just spamming the slowdown feature of your Wonder Weapon. And you don't want to hold down the left trigger and stun the zombies continuously, because this is going to make it so the zombies are slowed down but they're coming forward and they're still hitting you. But when you just tap slow down over and over again, it stuns them for a brief second, and it pretty much makes it so that you're not really getting hit that much. And then from that point to start laying into all the zombies by getting headshot kills. You can use the explosive effect by running out of ammo on the Wonder Weapon too to help damage all the zombies. Or if you ever get in a bad situation, you can just accelerate this process by spamming out your ammo and then using the explosion effect to give you a few more seconds just to breathe, put on some armor plates, regenerate your health. It's actually pretty good for that, as it knocks all the zombies down inside the room. I'd only really recommend doing this strategy if your goal is to go past round 200. Let's say for example you have a round goal of 200 or below. You can pretty much get there just by using Mangler kill streaks that you get for free, or buying mutant injections from the crafting table, so you don't really need to grind salvage for them rounds. But if you're going past round 200, you probably need to grind salvage at some point, so I would recommend doing this. You can also do this strategy as well if, let's say, you're on like round 90 and for whatever reason you're just down horrendous on salvage, then you can just do this for 1 or 2 rounds just to try and get your salvage count up. If you get a amalgam during this strategy, just pop a kill streak to take them out, nothing fancy here. And if you run out of ammo on your Wonder Weapon, you shouldn't really run out of ammo as long as you have the Part and Gift augment equipped on Vulture Aid. But just in case you do, just pop Aethys Route. You can use this opportunity to pick up all the salvage on the ground if you don't have Condor's Reach on. and then buy ammo inside the Juggernog room. All the zombies should have formed a nice horde outside here, so you might as well kill them with the trap as well. And then just loop round to the snooker table, and then drop down, go back to the wonder weapon room, and return to the strategy. Moving on to the RCXD strategy now, just in case you don't already know the positioning for this strat, I'm going to quickly show it to you now, but I'd honestly recommend just pausing the video and then looking for your own point of references, as it is quite tough to explain. So my point of reference is my left foot. I like to place it just slightly to the right of this divider on this crate, and then only just have it so my left foot is only barely on the crate. From that point, I like to look up at this green crate on the top right, put my crosshairs in the middle of the crate, and then call in the RCXD. As soon as you call in the RCXD, make sure to pull back on your thumbstick so you start reversing straight away, otherwise your car might just slide off. And then from that point, just park your car on the top right part of these crates where the green tarp is, and this is the safest spot to keep your car from my testing. You might be wondering why so precise with the car. That's because if you just park anywhere, you'll have this one armoured zombie that just climbs up and destroys your car. However, if you're in this exact spot, you will block that armoured zombie every time and he can't get to it. Now this RCXD strategy pretty much operates at a break-even salvage rate, or if anything you might actually gain a little bit of salvage here and there. So before I called in this RC car, I was at 89,400 salvage, and we're going to see where we're at before we call in the second RC car. This RC car also lasts a minute long, so it gets a lot of kills too. Alright, so that RC car is over. We might as well get a horde to kill into the trap. So I'm going to try and do my best to get a horde of zombies together here. Then call the trap. Stay inside this jug room too. If you just run straight at the crafting bench, all these zombies will despawn. Which sounds crazy because you're not even that far away from them, but they will. So just stand beside Juggernog for a few seconds just to make sure you kill all them zombies. From that point, go buy your RCXD, call in your Ether Shroud. With this Ether Shroud, with the extension augment on, you should be able to grab all the salvage at the trap and all the salvage around the crates. And as you just seen, I'm at 89,450 salvage, so I gained 50 salvage here, which honestly a lot of the time is on the low end of what you gain. Sometimes you'll gain 500 salvage doing this. And this RC car actually goes on to end the round, so 2 RC cars and 1 trap usage is enough to get through round 130, so it's not that bad. And one more thing I'm going to quickly show you about the RC car strat is if you run Condor's Reach on Vulture Aid, then you can actually pick up all the salvage that the RC car drops without even leaving your RC car. As you're seeing right now, I'm halfway through the duration of the RC car, so I've probably killed like 100 zombies by this point, and there's barely any salvage on the ground because I've picked it all up. So now I'm going to cover the chopper gunner, and there's not a lot to go over here, so I'm just going to quickly gloss over it. So you want to call in the chopper gunner inside this room, that way there's only 3 spawn points and it's easier to maximise your kills with the chopper gunner. I'd recommend calling it in towards this left door. That's because if you call it in on the right door, the zombies that break out of the wonder weapon room will make it to the Juggernog room, and it's kind of hard to kill them inside there. But if you go to the left door, the zombies will start running over the mess hall, and it's really easy to kill them as they start running over the mess hall. From that point, just make sure that you're killing the 2 spawns, the hole in the wall outside the wonder weapon room and the wonder weapon room spawns itself. You should be able to kill all these zombies throughout the whole duration of the chopper gunner. Another thing as well is the reason why we're positioned next to the entrance of the wonder weapon room. When you leave the chopper gunner, you only have a few seconds where the zombies don't target you. That way you're already at the doorway and you're already free to run away from the zombies. If you're at the back of the room, there's a good chance that when you try to leave the wonder weapon room, you're probably just going to get swarmed by the time you hit the entrance. So make sure that you call it in towards the doors. From that point you can use the trap to wipe out the whole horde of zombies like I've just done here. And then you can either craft a kill streak or hopefully this just ends the round. Moving on to the last part of the video, which is going to be the mutant injection. This is going to be everyone's retirement plan. Once they've built up enough salvage, they can retire to this strategy and blast through the rounds as fast as possible. There is actually going to be a most efficient way to go about this, so what you want to do is you want to position yourself on this left spawn right here. Then whenever you do a melee, you're going to kill all of these zombies, and then from that point you want to shoot a cannon at the doorway or the window spawn, and you just want to alternate between them 2 spawns. So melee the hole in the wall, shoot the cannon in the window, melee the hole in the wall, shoot a cannon at the door, and then repeat this process. This is going to be the fastest way to get a bunch of kills using the mutant injection. If you find yourself in a situation where you have an amalgam or a mangler in front of you blocking your cannon shots, what you can do is you can just do a jump cannon shot over their heads to hit the zombie spawns. This is a lot faster than just standing there and meleeing the amalgams away because it takes a lot of melees to kill them. So what I recommend doing is just doing the jump cannon shots, and then whenever you melee the hole in the wall spawns, just use that melee to also damage the mangler or the amalgam. And at the end of the round, just come on over to the engineering room and respawn all of these stray manglers closer towards you, that way it's easier for you to take them out. You will probably have to do this as early as the early round strategy because for whatever reason, whilst you're inside the wonder weapon room, these manglers have some weird spawn locations and some of them even spawn underground, and it just takes forever for them to get to you, so this is going to be the best way to go about doing it. And the last part of the video I'm going to cover is the fast Parasite round spot. It is going to be inside the wonder weapon room. This used to be a 1 spawn, but now it's a 2 spawn unfortunately. And there actually used to be another 1 spawn location on the Pack-a-Punch lift, but even that's patched now oddly enough. So this is as good as it gets. And that's going to be it from me, so if this video helped you out, be sure to leave a like. If you're new, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.